friends. This is another episode of the program Empire of Lies, in which we talk about manipulation and disinformation of the Russian media, foam drones, and the real threat. How Russian TV turns Europe's anxiety into a farce, a 2 million missile for foam plastic. This is how the program Evening with Vladimir Solovyov ridiculed the actions of Poland, which shot down drones that violated its airspace. Instead of analyzing the incident, viewers were offered a circus performance, irony, sarcasm, mockery. Maybe it was launched by a club of aircraft modelers, they commented in the studio, questioning the very fact of a Russian trace. The task is obvious, to devalue the threat, sow doubts and turn the incident into a joke. Substitution of reality. The drone incident is an emergency for NATO, a potential test for the entire collective security system. For Russian propaganda, it is an opportunity to humiliate the enemy. Warsaw talks about 19 drones. In the studio, and you prove that they are ours. NATO raises its air force, on air, panic and chaos, missiles at foam plastic. Europe expresses solidarity. Moscow responds, let Macron first recapture his train station. This is how an alternative reality is built, where Europe is always ridiculous and Russia is always strong. These are not just TV jokes. This is an information operation. 1. Discrediting NATO. The alliance is portrayed as weak and clumsy. 2nd, laundering responsibility. Russia is supposedly not to blame. Ukraine or even a group of aircraft modelers are to blame. 3rd, internal reassurance. The Russian viewer is told, we can afford more, Europe is powerless anyway. And if we launch 1,000 drones, what will the Poles do? Fight back with shovels? These words sound like a joke, but in reality they are a threat, delivered in the form of humour. Each such broadcast works against European unity, blurring of facts. Even obvious violations are transformed into controversial cases. Undermining trust. Viewers in Europe may get the impression maybe it's not that simple. Normalization of aggression. If a drone flight is a foam farce, then military action can be presented as a game. It was noted that the range of Russian attack UAVs is 700 kilometers. Where did they launch from? How did they launch? The Belarusian comrades said that we warned them, and we allowed the Poles to demonstrate all their air defense capabilities. Moreover, I will say honestly, they are, of course, impressive. In order to track 1923-8, it is not known exactly. 4 fell somewhere, it seems. They shot down everything. Everything that was, who, we do not know exactly, but they raised the planes, raised them to the refueling tanks in the air. The F-35 is working, the F-16 is working. They say that all NATO radio stations are working. There is such a panic that everything that has arrived, where it has arrived, who it has arrived. We sense that something terrible has happened, with missiles for 2 million on foam plastic. Then, moreover, it turned out that they shot down the drones when they themselves were already tired and they ran out of something. They just stupidly landed. Europe should not respond to farce with farce. Transparency, publication of all data on drone routes, photo and video recordings. Tough response. A single NATO voice without discrepancies that Moscow immediately uses. Public communication. Europeans need to be told directly. This is not about toys, but about checking the borders and readiness of the alliance. Russian propaganda laughs at NATO and Europe, but this laughter is part of a strategy of intimidation and discreditation. Behind the ridicule, there is a serious message. Russia is testing Europe's borders not only with drones, but also with words. Every flight into the Polish sky is not a joke. It is a test of European resolve. You were on the program Empire of Lies. See you soon.